Take two, because Domino was being very disruptive in the last video. Weren't you, Domino? And hopefully she won't be this time. Because I really hate restarting a video more than once. No, so Justice League. Got out of that today. And I'm going to go with my general thoughts, things I didn't like, and then the overall positives. Because generally speaking, my viewpoints are going to reflect what a lot of critics have been saying. It's good, but it has problems. That's pretty much it. But also should note, got a cool little souvenir here. Yeah, you notice how it's Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, and the Justice League. No Superman on there, and of course the JL, even though it's, I think the camera's gonna flip it, but anyway, but no, it was a good time. It's definitely one of DC's more lighthearted, more friendly movies. It's definitely still got some of the dark tones and sensibilities that the Zack Snyder stuff like BVS and Man of Steel had, but done in a way that, like when with Batman sequences, like at night, you still feel the dark part of Batman that we know. But then you would get things like the finale that takes place during the day, where this giant like apocalyptic landscape is kind of taking place, and it doesn't feel quite like that. It feels a bit more. You still feel the direness in a sense, but it's still light enough. It feels a bit more, for lack of a better term, Marvel-y. It feels a bit more like a Marvel film. So okay, that's weird. So in that sense, it does work in many ways. However, of the three main things I'm going to complain about, they are on the major side. So the biggest thing is, look, I know this movie had to go through a lot of reshoots, and Whedon only had about 6 months to do it. It wasn't like he was doing it from start to finish and all that. It's not like this is the original product they were going to give us. That said, I would not have been opposed to us waiting another month or two. Probably another 2 months would have served this movie well, because the special effects range from pretty solid. Like Cyborg actually looks pretty solid. A couple of shots with his head look a little weird, but mostly he's actually pretty solid. Paradigms look pretty decent. Atlantis looks pretty nice. I'm trying to think. Like that whole the finale looks overall fine. But Steppenwolf looks like a freaking World of Warcraft character, like an MMO villain boss battle. And my god, Superman's face. Now, I know why Superman's face looks the way it does. Why they had to CG over Superman's face for about 70% of its screen time. At least 70%. Because he was working on the newest Mission Impossible, where his character has a mustache and a bit of a beard. Or at least a scruff. And he couldn't shave it, so they had to CGI over it. And while we have some great CGI these days, like Rogue One was a perfect example of this, what they did with Tarkin, bringing in pretty much a dead actor back to life for a movie. While we have great CGI, stuff like that is still not perfected. Like, Tarkin still looked odd at points, especially when he was talking. But also note that they had God knows how long to perfect that. Not only did they have to do that CGI work over Superman's mouth, they had to also shoot those scenes first off, reshoot those scenes, and then CGI over that. And it is shredded, with the exception, unless he is not talking, and even when he's not talking, it still doesn't look right. It's at its least bad when he is not talking. When he is talking, oh my god, it looks almost like that damn talking baby commercial. That's how bad it looks. It is distracting. It is, God knows, distracting. And there's some other CGI problems that show up throughout the film. Nothing serious after that, but like the Flash looked really good when he was doing his Speed Force. That was pretty cool. Lightning everywhere. That was pretty fine. But also Steppenwolf. He is a lousy villain. I mean, from a physical standpoint, sure, he serves his purpose fine. And he serves his purpose for bringing the lead together. I'll at least give him credit that he mentions Darkseid one time. But really, it's just, I mean, Kieran Hines is a fine actor, but man, he was just, first off, again, I didn't believe he was even there half the time. And even when I did believe he was there, I didn't believe he was there. I believed the actor portraying him or whatever mocap artist was portraying him, that was the case. But he just had nothing to him. I mean, there was a couple of lines that he had that I'm like, all right, this is like when people say, or like when he's killing scientists to find the mother box. She says, please, I have a family. Why does everyone keep telling me that? I'm like, that was a funny joke. I'll give him that. But he's completely, it's like he keeps calling for mother, the mother box, and mother, saying mother. Oh, I hear you, but like, oh shit, oh god, he was bad. It was a bad villain, just not a good villain. There is, by the way, no actual screen presence of Darkseid at all. Darkseid doesn't show up at all. We don't actually see Apocalypse, as far as I can tell. We see kind of what it must look like because something was terraforming pretty much. And then there's just some editing problems, shaking, like that fight with the Amazons in the chamber where the mother box is being kept. I could hardly tell what was going on in that fight. That was not well shot at all. So, look, I really do like the film. It's a pretty solid film overall, but it's got some glaring problems that I cannot overlook. However, with that all being said, again, this is a pretty damn good film. Overall, not a pretty damn good film. It was a good time. It was a good time at the box office. I enjoyed myself very much with the film overall because the heart of the movie is the characters and their dynamics with each other. And on that level, killed it. Just knocked it out in spades. I mean, going down the list real quick, I mean, Ben Affleck as Batman. This is not. I prefer him in BVS. I'm going to be honest in terms of the Batman we saw. Take the killing thing out. Sorry, something distracted me. Anyway, Ben Affleck. I still liked it because he played it a bit more, just a bit more like a Batman who has hope again. Especially when like he sees Superman again, and they end up squaring off Superman, and Superman pretty much kicks all their asses. He messes Batman up, and Batman just like, yeah, you go. I was like, oh, something's definitely bleeding. And then later on, we see how fucked up Superman, and just how much Superman screwed him up. He's powers that be that was sitting next to me. I was like, oh, he's got some broken ribs. Oh, but no, Ben Affleck. Look, like it or not, Ben Affleck's probably not going to be showing up as Batman very much longer. We might luck out and get him for the Batman, but at this point, I don't even think that's going to be likely. I'm going about 30% at this point that he shows up for the Batman. It sucks because he is probably among my favorite Batman. He is. I very much enjoy his performance. He played it with a nice sense of humor, but also still that intimidation that Batman should give off. And he had some great interactions with Lee. Particularly, he has a couple conversations with Diana, with Wonder Woman, that were. And this is the beauty of it, having the blend of Snyder and Whedon, is that they were able to blend the humor and the serious tone of the movie, like the actual serious nature of what's going on, pretty well. Like it's one of the problems I have with Thor Ragnarok, that despite the fact I did feel a lot, and I saw it the second time and I liked it, I think even a little bit more the second time, it still felt just a little too jokey at points, just a little bit. Whereas Justice League, it really captured the right balance for me. And the scenes with him and Diana, where they're talking about, where they're talking about how they're going to resurrect Superman, and Diana's like saying, "No, we can't do it. Don't try to ease your guilty conscience." And then Bruce just calls like, "Oh, who told you that, Steve Trevor?" And she just knocks him back, and he's oh, and he's like, "Ugh." And then he tells her off, honestly. He's like, "Look, yeah, you could have been, you should be a beacon of hope, but you were around for 100 years. Yet why have I never heard of you until Lex brought up a picture of your old boyfriend? You went and freaking hid in the shadows like a coward. That's what you did." He didn't exactly. I'm paraphrasing slightly, but he more or less says that. And she doesn't have any real response for that. He called her out on some bullshit, and she brings that up briefly when she tries to recruit Cyborg, but we really see Bruce Wayne kind of he rips into her a bit, and kind of deservedly so, despite the fact that Wonder Woman is still really good in the film, and I think Gal Gadot has improved with each performance as an actress of Wonder Woman. With each performance of Wonder Woman, she's gotten better. Despite that, he calls her out. He calls her out. She's not a perfect character at all. But at the end of the movie, we see that she's now becoming more of a Superman, a beacon of hope in many ways. Anytime Ezra Miller cracked a joke, it never felt forced. It felt natural. Like the minute we first see him, he's visiting his father in jail, and we obviously were supposed to. He's that brief stretches a hand, and he just goes back to signing because there's this guy who's just giving him crap, and he just basically does his mustache glasses. That was pretty funny. And like another scene where it's just like Diana pushes him, like, if she kills you, we're probably gonna back her up, right? It just felt really natural with him, just the way he was. And anytime he's on screen using the Speed Force, it's fun to watch. But there is a moment when Superman doesn't go evil, but when brought back, because the way they bring him back is essentially the mother box are not just the boom tubes. They are just energy, and they deduce that they could bring Superman back with the mother box combined with the Kryptonian ship, and they do that. But he's disoriented, so it's him versus the Justice League for a little while. And then when the Flash rolls around, Superman's eye suddenly goes, and he starts turning, and Flash realizes this guy can kind of keep. Oh crap! And then Superman just starts. And he's doing the best he can, just void out, just. He tags me even grazes me. I'm a goner. So it was Flash is great. He's got some great dynamics with Batman, with Aquaman. So it's pretty. It was pretty fun. Aquaman. Jason Momoa got to talk about him. He gave a really cool kind of surfer bro, a little bit like a rough surfer bro kind of vibe. And whatever. Sorry, somebody on the background's distracting me a little bit. I apologize. But there's a great scene with him on the days like, look, we're probably all gonna die. But, I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm young. I don't want to die. I've never had a place on land. I mean, look, let's be honest. You're young. You're inexperienced. You're possibly a weapon. You don't have any powers, and you are gorgeous, you're beautiful and powerful. And I wouldn't. Back in the day, Atlanteans and Amazons, maybe not, but and then he just all of a sudden we see him looking down the lassos on his leg, and he's just. Tell you about that. I will introduce you to every piranha I know. That was pretty good. And Superman, when he actually does finally show up, he's pretty solid for what it is. We finally got more of that Christopher Reeve Superman that people want. That more jovial, not jokey, but he can cracks wise a bit more. And he smiles a lot more, and you're having a bit more fun. There's a scene where him and the Flash are competing to save people, and the Flash saves a family in the truck, which we've been following for a little bit, and then Superman comes and just floats, carries a building of people. So it was fun. It was really good. The action sequences, for the most part, are pretty solid too. Like the climax is really good. Opening scene with Batman catching a Parademon was pretty solid. The fight sequence in Gotham Harbor or under Gotham Harbor, that was pretty solid as well. So most of the action sequences are pretty decent. The fight between Superman and Justice League was pretty nice. So yeah, that was great. I did love when the Danny Elfman Batman theme kicked in, just bum bum bum, and then Batman comes out of the plane with the Batmobile, the chasing the parademons, and bringing them away. So you hear the bum 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 bum, and like, yeah, oh god, oh, you're so good, so good. I was digging it. I was just having a ball. And it ends on a good note. And we basically see Lois Lane writing a story about the return of heroes and how everyone played their parts and brought hope. So that was pretty well done. There are two post credit scenes. They're both awesome. One is Superman and the Flash basically going for a race just to race each other. And the other one I was actually really surprised and happy with because I didn't think that they were going to continue on with this route. What it was we see them. We are in Arkham where Luthor is supposed to be held, and we see Luthor escaped. Now then I immediately see the two swords back. I'm like, oh shit, they're giving us a little bit of Deathstroke. And I thought they were like, Deathstroke's, bringing Jesse Eisenberg like to wherever he is. But no, he's meeting up with him, and we see it's fully Deathstroke. And Jesse Eisenberg is actually behaving like Lex Luthor for a change. And he's talking about, they're forming a girl group. Maybe we should form a group too. So we're talking about the Injustice League. But then they take off the mask Slade takes off his mask, and it is Joe Manganiello in there too, and he looks like Slade. He looks great. I'm like, so he's still Deathstroke. That's so cool. Awesome. Oh man. So I'm pretty satisfied with the film overall. It's not as good as it could have been, but it's far from as bad as it could have been. It is far better than it could have ended up. So I'm glad with the product we got overall. There are definitely problems. Real quick, Deadpool 2 teaser trailer. We're gonna take a little bit of our snow and mix it with a Betty White, and we're gonna make sky, and you can do whatever you want and break the rules. Oh sweet baby Jesus! I can't wait for the actual trailer and the actual movie. Den of Thieves with Gerard Butler. That looks really good. Jumanji looks fun. I'm going to save that one. The Commuter, new trailer for Commuter. I get that Liam Neeson has only a limited time to do these action movies, but his character isn't even supposed to be a badass. He's a commuter. That's the point of the movie. So why? Why is he suddenly doing some action sequences in there? I don't get it. Ready Player One, that's an old trailer, but still, I'm still interested. Tomb Raider looks fun. Last but not least, Pitch Perfect 3. Look, it is what it is. I'm certain the music will be fine. I'm not a huge fan of Rebel Wilson, if I'm going to be honest. I like Anna Kendrick. But that whole, Aka, excuse me, all right, let's Aka do this. Shut up with that. Oh, God almighty. I don't need that. I don't think anyone needs. I don't even think the people who like this series need that crap. Just stop with the Aka stuff. Stop throwing in foreign espionage in bombs and explosions and stuff. Overall, I'm certain the movie will probably be entertaining for what it is, but that kind of stuff just tunes me out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas of who would win, Star Wars, Superhero Magic, What If, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I will get to it at some point. Let's see. Next week, I believe, is Coco. Yes, Coco will be the one I go see next week. Roman J. Israel Esquire gets a widescreen release next week as well. But no, Coco's got to be the one I'm at next week. Darkest Hour is also getting a widescreen release. We'll see what happens, and then we'll see what happens about the week after that with Shape. I want to see Shape of Water and maybe even the Disaster Artist, but we'll see what happens with each of those. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you folks next.